UFC Vegas 39. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We need at least 150 likes on this breakdown. If you're new, subscribe to the channel as well and turn on those post notifications so you do not miss a video. Let's get into the first fight of the night. At the bottom, a fight that probably shouldn't be in the UFC. It's Charlie Ontiveros versus Steve Garcia. I think it's an obvious pick here. You have to go with Steve Garcia with how bad Ontiveros looked in his debut against Kevin Holland. And even prior to that, you look at his record, spotty performances against subpar talent. He's a really awkward Taekwondo fighter with pretty mediocre ground game. On the opposite side, Steve Garcia is no elite level world beater, but on short notice, especially in the lightweight division, because let's be honest, Ontiveros is a middleweight dropping to lightweight, though his career mostly at welterweight. I think he's going to have issues on the scale. I'm also predicting he misses weight. But Steve Garcia, you look at the stylistic matchup, I think this is great for him. Ontiveros, weak takedown defense. Garcia is going to put a lot of forward pressure. He's going to look for takedowns. His straight punches are decent. He's by no means, the top prospect in the world, but he's a tough, scrappy lightweight who's naturally a lightweight, not a guy dropping a weight class, and he's already 6'2" with the 76-inch reach. He's a tall guy. I feel like it's going to be a really difficult weight cut. I think Steve Garcia puts it on him. I'm thinking second round knockout for Steve Garcia over Charlie Ontiveros. There wouldn't be a bet on Ontiveros for the life of me. He's not an underdog that I believe in. Maybe some spinning wheel kick, crazy KO upset with the likelihood near zero. Steve Garcia, dominant performance. TKO round number 2 in the odds. Minus 305 to plus 240. It's ranging around that. We'll talk props on this week's best MMA bets when they all drop. At the moment, we don't have detailed prop betting out yet. Lupita Godinez versus Sam Hughes. I like Lupita Godinez in this matchup. Stylistically, you look at it. Sam Hughes, pretty square striker with some decent forward pressure. She's confident in her hands and does like to mix it up, but there's definitely openings for a lot of takedowns. Godinez really strong in the clinch. Hughes will come into the clinch situations. And she is a little bit taller than Lupita here, but I think the strength difference, the technical grappling difference, it's going to be a wide margin. Loma Luke Boom destroyed Sam Hughes grappling-wise in the last fight. Throws, takedowns, top control. Lupita Godinez is a tricky grappler. I think she has a pretty decent performance here. She likes that, head type throw from the inside. I do believe she'll be able to land some trips against the cage, grinding decision. Don't think this is going to be an absolute war, best fight of the night, but I think that we see Lupita Godinez get her first UFC win. Decision. I think she beats Sam Hughes here. Odds, Lupita, strong favorite, minus 200, plus 160. Do you want to throw money at Lupita? Personally, I really don't want to throw much at her, but I really feel like she beats Sam Hughes. Might be a parlay addition for a ballsy parlay. We'll get to that more later on in the week, but I'm liking Lupi. Next fight of the night, Charles Rosa versus Damon Jackson. This matchup is just strange. I have to go with the Boston strongman Charles Rosa. I feel like he's going to get a win put together. Yeah, Damon Jackson beat Mirsad Bektik, who's a pretty legit prospect, a pretty legit former contender that never really made it. But legit, Charles Rosa on the opposite side, he's good on the ground. He's decent with his striking, okay with the boxing skill set. He's the Boston strongman, maybe some Boston bias, but I do think he has the game to win. He's won me a lot of money betting in the past as an underdog. He's durable. He's not a guy that gets finished. You look at Damon Jackson, brutally knocked out in the last one against Elliott. I don't think Charles Rosa has that type of performance. I think it's a tit-for-tat striking match. It's very competitive on the ground. I think it's close as well. This fight's super close. I'm going split decision, Charles Rosa, the receding hairline champion Damon Jackson versus Mr. Inconsistent Charles Rosa. What a swell fight. This card overall just bringing absolute bangers of fights. But we're going Rosa underdog plus 145. I think he wins a super close fight. Not one that you'd want to throw the house at, but I do feel like Rosa to win. Maybe you play the inside the distance. We'll quickly look at that. That's sitting at fight goes the distance minus 165. I think that's pretty likely here. I like Rosa for the win. Split decision, which is never a great sign. Next fight, Alexander Romanov, Jared Vanderaa. It's Romanov. He's going to run through him. That's my pick for this fight. Stylistically, you look at the matchup. Vanderaa is a tricky striker. He's got some pretty good Muay Thai. He's confident. He comes with forward pressure. He can box decently from range, though it's an awkward style of boxing. In the last one, who did he beat? What's the exact name? Justin Tafa. Put a beat down on Justin Tafa. And Tafa's got some decent hands. I think Romanov, if he stood and struck with Vanderaa, could be a bit of trouble. But he's not going to do that. It's going to be takedown after takedown, top control, ground and pound. I think Vanderaa might be able to survive the first round. I think he gets stopped in the second. Alexander Romanov, KO, TKO, or even submission. Round number 2, Romanov inside the distance would be a potential play. He's definitely going to be on top of Jared Vanderaa at some point in this fight. I like Romanov. He's a strong favorite. Minus 400, plus 300. Parlay edition will be Romanov. I have a lot of confidence in him. You look at the last fight, yes, wasn't a great performance against Juan Espino, but probably the only guy in the UFC that can compete wrestling-wise, like outside of like the top of the line guys, it is Espino with Romanov, because Romanov's a monster grappling. Vanderaa has no shot here. Alexander Romanov, win. Round number 2, inside the distance. Next fight of the night, Lariano Staropoli and Jamie Pickett. I gotta go with my man Staropoli. Second fight at middleweight, even though in the last fight, he didn't look bad. Like, you can't hate on him against Delidze, who's literally just a chain grappler. Just the man is going to literally just try to hold you down the whole fight. That's all he does. Staropoli needs space and likes to strike. Jamie Pickett will give him those opportunities, though. Pickett brings in a substantial reach advantage. I just don't think Jamie Pickett's all that good. He's a rangy southpaw, but he got knocked out by the Beverly Hills Ninja in the last one. He looked bad against Stefan Chukwi. I think that Staropoli is going to mix it up with the combinations. I think he'll be able to fight off any grappling attacks as Pickett will be on the outside. I think Staropoli will explode into range, letting the hands fly. Not the superb confidence, go out and bet the house on it, but I do like Staropoli here. I do want to see them face off at weigh-ins. I know Pickett stylistically with the reach could maybe be a little bit of a factor, but I think Staropoli has a clear-cut speed advantage and a technical kickboxing advantage. Staropoli for the win. I'll be honest with you. Jamie Pickett got knocked out in the last one versus the Beverly Hills Ninja. For me to not say Staropoli knocks him out would be a disservice. I have to say Staropoli stoppage round 2, but I don't know for sure. I think it could definitely go the distance here, to be honest. But Staropoli, being the better striker, should get the win. But I'm worried about the durability of Jamie Pickett. Minus 200 favorite, though. I'm not throwing down on Staropoli. No way. It's on a 3-fight losing streak. It's not it. Now, the featured prelim of the night. Okay, this fight is something like I can get a little bit excited about. It's Chris Gutierrez, Felipe Colares. Obviously, I'm a fan of Gutierrez. I like Gutierrez to win here. I think stylistically, this is a great matchup. I think he's actually going to have a pretty good showcase against Felipe Colares. I think this is an easier fight than Andre Ewell stylistically, though Colares, I do think Colares actually has a little bit more heart. Gutierrez, super dangerous kickboxer, disgustingly nasty low kicks with like a patient forward pressure style, and he controls the center of the octagon well. Stance switches. As I said, the low kicks are nasty. Watch for Colares' legs to be picked apart. Colares is a decent Thai-style striker, but he's very square. I see Gutierrez boxing working here, straight punches landing. Now, Colares rather, he fights like decently well from the longer range, but in this fight here, he's the shorter guy by an inch. Though he does bring in a slight reach advantage, I don't think it'll be all that much, especially with Gutierrez's kicking ability. That reach advantage will be canceled out. The boxing of Colares isn't bad. He's got powerful straights, but I think Gutierrez puts on a striking display here. Puts on the win by decision, though. Unfortunately, I don't think he gets a stoppage. Gutierrez not known for the stoppages outside of that Vince Morales win. You look at recent UFC bouts, he's going the distance, and I think he'll go the distance here with Colares. Could potentially hurt him. If there is a stoppage, I'm thinking 3rd round knockout. I think an over 1.5 would be a big casher here. Chris Gutierrez, win, decision. Unfortunately, decision over Felipe Colares. He's a minus 275 favorite to a plus 210 dog. There'll be some props that release later on in the week. Make sure you guys tune into this week's Best MMA Bets, and we'll go deep with them. Now, the main card. If you guys haven't yet, smash the hell out of that like button. I need at least 150 likes on this full card breakdown. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the show. Phil Hawes, Deron Winn. I'm going Phil Hawes here. I know he's a big favorite. He's too big of a favorite. He's let us down how many damn times in the past. And Deron Winn is a tricky matchup, but look at the size. Deron Winn, 5'6" to 6 foot, 70-inch reach to 77.5. Yes, Deron Winn's wrestling is excellent, but he carries a lot of excess body fat. I think he should drop a weight class. At 70, he'd be a lot more effective. And you look at the last fight, he was 94.5 for that one. So he was big boy for that fight against Antonio Arroyo, who literally doesn't have a ground game. Phil Hawes is an excellent wrestler in his own right, really good defense. Offensively, he's sound. He's super physically strong. He's an A1 athlete, and he's got legit knockout power. Deron Winn doesn't really bring that much boxing. He's okay with his hands, lacks the kicking skill set, but has really good chain wrestling, and he's good on top. But he doesn't bring much else. He's a wrestler that has some okay skills elsewhere. He really needs to step up his game overall. I think also a weight class drop. You're 5 feet 6 inches tall. He is the height of the featherweight champion, and the featherweight champ's undersized for 145 pounds. Deron Winn, get to 170, even 155 if possible. If Deron Winn gets shredded, he's a whole nother level. I'd like to see it. His wrestling's fantastic, but he's not going to beat Phil Hawes in this matchup. I think Phil Hawes stuns him bad in the second round, puts him down. Knockout by Phil Hawes in round number 2 here over Deron Winn, but strong favorite, minus 275, plus 220. I like Hawes for the W. Could potentially end up going the distance here, though, but I think Deron Winn's going to look to wrestle too much here. It's going to be telegraphed. Hawes counters, knocks him out, second round. The next fight of the night, Mariya Agapova and Sabina Mazo. Neither girl is all that great, and Agapova is the one I'm picking. And I know people are going to shaft me for it. She lost to Shayna Dobson. She's awful. But you look at the matchup, Sabina Mazo's not really all that great. I mean, yes, she does have some wins inside of the UFC. I'll give her the love on that. But you look at the striking skill set, somewhere where Agapova shines. Mazo's pretty basic. Basic 1-2s, chin comes up high, she's square. She's a little bit slow on her feet, I believe. Like, she's got okay ground game, decent top control. I don't know. I feel like I'm liking Agapova. And let's be honest, also weight drop for Mazo, coming down to 125 for this matchup. Agapova is a bit of a reckless, chaotic striker that goes way too hard for the finish. But if she can calm herself down, I think she's the more athletic fighter, and I do think she's the better kickboxer. Stay off her back, strike here. I think Mariya Agapova could win a hard-fought decision and get an upset. The odds, not super wide. Agapova was like a minus 1,200 against Dobson, and now against Mazo, she's the underdog, plus 130. I'll take the underdog, Mariya Agapova, win by decision. Do I want to go out and bet on her? Not really, but I do think she can beat Sabina Mazo here, the Colombian queen. I got to go Agapova, win decision. On this main card that is lacking quality name value, Jesus. Tim Elliott versus Matheus Nicolau. You know, you look at this fight, not an easy matchup. It was tricky for me to make a pick here, but something in my heart is telling me Tim Elliott. Whenever I pick against Tim Elliott, he wins. When I pick him, he loses. So this is a tricky situation, but I feel like in this matchup here, Matheus Nicolau, yes, he's a tricky grappler in his own right. Tough Brazilian kid with patient kickboxing. He controls range well. When he grapples, he's willing to grind out opponents and be patient. But Tim Elliott is the master of chain wrestling. He's a really awkward southpaw striking, has been in there with some of the best guys on the planet, nearly beat Mighty Mouse in that first round. That was like his career-defining moment. You look at Elliott's game also, I mean, he's got a little bit of a size advantage. 5'7", opposite 5'6", 1 inch reach advantage. I think he's the quicker guy off his feet as well. He's awkward with that constant forward pressure. He is going to be putting it on Nicolau here from start to finish. Yes, Nicolau had a win in his debut. That was against Menal Cape. But at the end of the day, Elliott's a tricky matchup. And actually, that wasn't his debut, excuse me, his return to the UFC. Look at a loss. Dustin Ortiz was able to beat him. I just feel Tim Elliott will be able to get a hard-fought decision win. Grappling heavy game. Plus 140 underdog, Tim Elliott. I think he wins against Matheus Nicolau. But we'll see. Matheus Nicolau, excuse me, saying his name incorrectly. I think Tim Elliott gets the dub here. I like Elliott. But it's a close, competitive fight. And definitely path to victory for Nicolau. But we'll go underdog. Elliott win by a decision. Co-main event, and can you believe it? It is Randy Brown and Jared Gooden in the co-main event. Wow, I really, on most cards, I think we're still on the prelims, but this is UFC Vegas 39. Wow. Disappoints me, obviously. But let's talk about this fight. First thing, I like Randy Brown. I like the Rude Boy. You look at his stand-up game, it's getting better and better over time. He's been knocked out a few times in the past, and Jared Gooden does bring serious power, but I think that the grappling threat will be there. I think the range management will be solid. Brown has some pretty solid straight punches. The way he's been managing range lately, I've really been liking. His kicks are good as well. Improved knockout power. He's definitely built a little bit more muscle on his frame. On the ground, he's known for good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, top heavy. Randy Brown, Jared Gooden. I like Brown. I think Brown will actually give him problems on the ground. Yes, Gooden is physically very strong and he's a powerful striker. I don't think he has that same speed of Brown. Watch for Brown to land straight punches in this fight. Gooden's head movement is decent. I think he may engage in some clinch situations here with Brown, and I think Brown can start to find success. This is going to be a real stretch, but I think Randy Brown submits Jared Gooden on this fight. I think he submits him in the second round. I like Randy Brown. Win by a submission. It would be an expected victory. He's a strong favorite, minus 250. Gooden will have the knockout power. We'll check out what the prop bet is. If it's a plus 1,000 prop for Gooden KO, we might have to sprinkle that because he has the power to sleep Brown, but Brown has looked good as of late, improving game. I like Randy Brown's submission, thinking second round here. Randy Rude Boy Brown to win the co-main event against Jared Gooden in what should never be a co-main event. Main event of the evening. Make sure you guys smash the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Marina Rodriguez, Mackenzie, Dern. They are sleeping on Marina Rodriguez, the bookies are. I like Marina Rodriguez here. You look at Dern, lost to Amanda Ribas. You look at Marina Rodriguez, destroyed Amanda Ribas. Now, not saying MMA math works, but it's just something worth mentioning. Marina Rodriguez has solid takedown defense, and let's be honest, you look at her fight against Carla Esparza, she didn't get submitted there. Yeah, she got controlled on the ground, but very different matchup. Mackenzie Dern is a jiu-jitsu style takedown artist, not an explosive wrestler. I think that Marina Rodriguez will fend off the grappling attack from Dern. I think Dern will come at her looking for submissions in the first, second. She starts getting tired in the third. That's when Marina Rodriguez unloads. Stoppage, TKO, round number 3. I think Marina Rodriguez's kickboxing skills are vastly better than Dern. Dern is still awkward as hell with her kickboxing. She's just on a roll right now. I feel like Dern's strongest attribute here will be if she can somehow get Marina Rodriguez's back in the first 3 minutes. I think the likelihood is low. I'm not going to take a pick off, a fluke shot with Dern really having only one path to victory. She hasn't proven she can go the distance. Does she have the gas tank? I don't believe she does. Rodriguez does. Takedown defense, a little spotty, but it's around 60-ish%. I think Marina Rodriguez, even if she gets taken down, she's not going to get submitted by Dern. She'll get the stoppage. Third round TKO, Marina Rodriguez for the win. Underdog in the main event. I look forward to the props. I need detailed props for this whole card as I almost knocked down the microphone because I really want to potentially play like some overs, some unders, because I think there'll be some big cashers on that. Overall, it's a pretty solid card. If you're looking for a potential parlay, I will give you the true staple lock is going to be Romanov. I like Romanov and Marina Rodriguez. It would be plus money with that nice underdog play in there. Overall, we got kind of mediocre card. We'll have more content all week long for it. We'll be doing this week's best MMA bets. We'll do the weigh-in recap show. And we'll also do a prediction for the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 3 fight, which I'm super excited for. Much love to everybody tuning into the show. Smash the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Turn on those post notifications as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.